to take. Then we're going to go to the second phase, the power phase, in which you start moving, and during your movement you can battle with gangs, with capos, and with other players. Oh, I've misplaced these. And you can claim control of the certain areas. Movement itself is fairly simple. Every capo can move 5 spaces normally, except if you have a capo who tells you otherwise. You see those little connecting bars to indicate which positions are connected to each other. So for instance, if I want to move, I could say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and every space I move through I claim if it's not already claimed by someone else. I just put my mark on it. So for now I have the entire New Jersey area. If you control a complete area, your respect will rise 1, 2, 3 spaces immediately. If you encounter spaces from another player, you can try and take them over by force. You choose one of the weapon cards from your hand to play. The number indicates the value of the weapon, and the yellow bar indicates whether the weapon has a special ability or not. I'm going to place my card here. As an attacker, you place your card closed. Then the defending player, in my example that is the green player, may choose whether he wants to defend this space by placing another weapon card there or not. If he doesn't, I immediately win the space, remove his marker and place my own marker. If he does play a card, he'll play his card open. And I'm going to open my cards. We're going to compare the values, 10 for me versus the 2 of the green player, which means I win this area, and again I remove his marker and place my own marker. Every time you battle, you gain 1 respect on the ladder. The cards used, they are discarded into the discard pile. If there's a draw, the attacker automatically wins. I could also attack another capo if I end up in the same space as another capo. Again, I'm going to play one of the cards from my hand closed. The capo defends by playing one of his cards face up. I'm going to flip mine. We're going to compare 11 to 6. This capo loses. He loses 2 respect, so he goes 2 steps down on the ladder, and he has to return to his safe house or one of his controlled areas, and again I get the control over that specific area. Losing respect is dangerous. As you can see here at the bottom of the ladder, there's sleeps with the fishes, which means you're going to get some concrete shoes and you're going to be dumped in the river. If your capo will end up here, sleeps with the fishes, he's immediately killed, which might be favorable for your special secret objective. So do keep in mind that you don't want to go that low. Every attack, whether you win or lose, always gives you 1 step up on the ladder. Alternatively, if I attack another capo and as an attacker I lose, I go to jail. And of course I won't get the area itself. Again, it is an attack. Despite the fact that it failed, I still get my +1 ranking, because, well, they do respect me for attacking another capo. If you're in jail, the next turn after your money phase, you may make bail. And depending on your rank, you have to pay a certain amount of money in order to get out of jail and move to one of the available limousine spots on the map. In my example, I'm a Capo Regime, which means my bail will cost me $25,000, which I will pay to the bank. Alternatively, I could use one of the consiglieres who will talk me out of jail, preventing me from having to pay a lot of money. And there are 2 alternative ways of traveling. You see certain limousine spots on the map. If you move towards the limousine spot, you get your 5 movements. So for instance 1, 2, 3, 4. I then can move my capo to any other limousine spot on the board and continue movement from there. 5. and again I claim any empty space. And the final way of transportation is by an armored car, which are depicted on different cards. If you play an armored car, you forfeit your normal 5 movement points, or whatever amount of movement points you have, but instead you may move to any spot on the board instantly by playing one armored car, one getaway car. Going back to fighting another capo, if you attack another capo and you manage to defeat him, if there's a bounty on his or her head, you'll get to collect that bounty, and you get bounties on your head either by drawing FBI cards or by setting up drug labs, which will also grant you one bounty chip on your head, $50,000. But if I manage to defeat, if I attack this capo and he has, for instance, the 100,000 bounty on his head, I defeat him, he goes back, blah blah blah, loses to respect, and I get to collect the bounty chips on his head, which will be removed then, but it gives me $100,000. If I collect those dollars, I can choose to either get them in money, or I can opt to up my rank. For every 50,000 I do not collect, I get to opt my rank 1. So if I don't collect the 100,000, I could go up 2 spaces on the ladder. But I can also choose to give myself 50,000 cash and 1 spot up the rank. Alternatively, if you don't like to go to jail, you could use the gangs on the board to attack other capos. If you go to a gang space, you can purchase a gang member to attack another capo anywhere on the board, not being in one of the safe houses. The gang will attack using the cards from the regular weapons deck, and for every card you want to draw, you have to pay 5,000 with a maximum of 15,000. So you can at the most draw 3 cards. But the attack is the same. So for instance, I want to do that. I'm going to pay the gang 15,000, put it in the gang money pot, draw the top 3 cards, and from these 3 cards I'm going to choose one weapon. Oh, that's a bad choice. Well, I'm going to put this revolver here without telling him. The other capo has to defend, so he's going to place one of his cards face up. He has a bulletproof vest, which stops a variety of weapons. Should have stuck to the machete. We're gonna see what's gonna happen. I've got a 4. He's got a bulletproof vest, which stops my ordinary revolver. If I would have taken this machete, it says it ignores bulletproof vests. He wins, and normally if the attacker loses, he has to go to jail. But because I've paid the gang to do the shooting for me, they'll go to jail, so nothing actually happens. If I win, the same thing happens. The capo who lost is going to lose 2 points of respect on the ladder. He has to go to one of his safe houses or one of the areas he controls. If the losing capo can't go to one of his safe houses and he has no areas he controls, he's immediately out of the game and loses. And finally, I can attack businesses of other players. Other players might set up shop somewhere. You should see that in the middle of New York, the Manhattan part, there are dollar signs in the circles. Those are the areas where you can set up your shops. I can, for instance, set up a pizza place here, and this works like a regular attack. I'm just going to go there. I'm going to play one of my weapon cards face down. In this example, the green player may place one of his or her weapon cards face up, and the one with the highest number will win control of this pizza place. And if you get control, the other player will have to give you his pizza card, and it will start producing money for you during your next money phase. Alternatively, you can provide your pizza place with its own weapons. You can put one weapon card under each of your businesses. That means when this business is attacked, this card is going to be used to defend it with. This has several advantages. Normally an ATF raid will take away all the weapons of a player, but not the weapons he has hidden underneath his businesses. And all these actions can be done while you're moving along, spending your movement points. By the way, if you attack a location of another player and that player chooses to not defend, you get your weapon card back. It's not discarded. And you can also try to attack other gangs. You have to go to the gang field, attack it. They use the top card of the weapons deck. You place one of your cards, and if you win, you can just grab all the money in the gang money pot, which is always nice. So after doing all those actions, the power phase is over. We're going to the third and final phase, and that's the respect phase.